Before we do that, what are we talking about?
I don't know. This is going to be spontaneous. I'm not going to tell you. Okay. So, hello, everyone. Welcome to At Your Home. This is your host, Mina Suchoi, and we have a special guest. Her name is Yuri Kawada. And can you sort of explain about who you are really briefly?
Yes. Hi, I'm Yuri. I'm a half Korean, half Japanese. I knew Mina since high school. Because we went to like the same international school. So yeah, we've been friends for like 8 years.
8 years.
I don't know, a
You're my
long
mom.
time. So yeah.
Yeah. And what are you doing currently? Like, where are you right now?
Well, I'm based mainly in Korea, but currently I'm studying like product design. So I'm studying abroad in America in Seattle. So yeah.
And to kind of add on to that, she went to, for undergrad, she was also in the US in California. Oh, California. And for those who might not know, I was in Illinois. We used to visit each other. Like she would come to my cold born cornfield and I would go to her fun LA.
Yay.
But yeah, we've been friends for quite a long time. Yeah. So, episode 3 is going to be about living in Korea as a third culture kid.
Yay.
And today is with some alcohol. We're drinking some wine. Cheers.
Yay.
Just a full disclosure, this is our round 2. And I used to have 2 mics, but my dog was right here. Okay. My summer here, my dog ate my other mic, so we have 1 mic. So hopefully you guys can still clearly hear us. But if not, that'll be sad. But we're gonna leave it right here in the middle and just talk louder.
Yay.
So, what is it like living in Korea? So I think we would both identify us as a third culture kid. We both went to international schools, but I think Yuri and I might have a little bit of different experience of living in Korea because I'm a lot more comfortable in Korean than she is.
Yes. Facts.
So, so you grew up in Korea?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was your kind of experience like living in Korea as someone that's that third culture kid, someone that's half Korean, half Japanese that went to international school? And our international school was I think we were very foreign compared to other international schools, because in Korea we have a lot of international schools, but our school specifically we had very American kids or very like foreign kids. Yeah. So what was your kind of experience living in Korea as a TTK?
Because I went to an international school since preschool, so like at a really young age, and I stayed at the same school for like until I graduated high school. So for me, like my up until high school, I was surrounded by international kids that came from like America, Japan, like China, like everywhere around the world, where I felt like Korean, like speaking Korean wasn't necessary for me to in school just because like we were taught in English, we spoke in English too. So through that, I think there was not really like a lot of situations where I had to speak Korean. But I think it hit me until like when I went to college, where like it was not just about like staying in one school, but like also being able to adapt to a society or like a community in a country where you can speak the language and also um, kind of like communicate with other people too, I guess. Yeah. So I think in that way, like it led to me like being English as like a fluent language, even though I'm not American or like
I don't know what we
yeah,
are.
yeah, I don't know what we are, but I think yeah, through that, I would say that I I'm still trying to learn Korean and being more fluent in Korean just because like I am based in Korea, like my family is in Korea and Japan, and so
Wait, so I'm personally curious now all of a sudden, but when was the prime time you've experienced identity crisis, or have you ever experienced identity crisis?
yeah.
Yeah, because for me, I think my entire life I struggle with identity crisis, and things are clearing up a bit more throughout right now. But I had one of my biggest identity crisis when I actually went to an international school, because I went to Korean. I was born abroad, and then I went to Korean public school. That's where I was like viewed as very very Korean, and then I moved to Canada, the States, and I was just exposed to these areas. But then when I went there, I was considered an international kid. So I was a Korean that was good at English. But then all of a sudden, when I came to Korea, attended a international school, um, I was suddenly viewed as someone that was not too American enough. So
Hmm.
that's when I had the biggest identity crisis going to an international school, because there were kids that looked like me that were Korean, that were fluent in English, but they were more American than I am. But then I was actually like suddenly so
Hmm.
confused. They're kind of like me, but then I didn't relate to them at all. They were speaking English, they were Korean, but I was so confused about who I was all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah. When do you think you've dealt with the biggest identity crisis in your life?
I think for me, it would be in college.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew she was going to say that. I was fishing.
Yeah, I think, sorry. I think it would be in college just because for me, because I like spent all my entire like childhood to like high school, like teenager phase in one school that like when I came to college, there were so many more opportunities where like there were so many different people that I got to know where it didn't like it hit me where like, oh, am I American? Like, because when I was in international school, I thought like even though I was Korean American, I thought that I could still like, blend in with other people just because I got to get to know a lot of international kids that come from all over the world. So I think in college it hit me where like, am I American or am I Korean? Like, because there were times where I like joined organizations where it was like a lot of American people were part of that organization. And for me as an international student, I felt like it was hard in a way where I didn't culturally like relate to them at some like to a certain extent, but I think yeah, I think that was like the biggest challenge in terms of like being at a community where there were a lot more diverse people outside of just an international
And
school.
we already thought we were kind of like diverse to begin
Yeah.
from the get go because we were from an international school. But yeah, that was to me the same like third round of identity crisis that I had, because when I went to college, I thought after experience international school, I was like ready to finally like be with my people. I was like, if I go to college, I'm gonna be with my people, with like mixed diverse people that were just speaking English, and we will all connect in that level. But then until you go to college, you don't know like what kind of experience you would have. But when I went, of course, as many of you guys might know, like college is a very cliquey place. They have different organizations, and kind of struggle finding my own place even in college. I wanted to blend in with Asian American people, but I realized that they see me as an international kid, like not just an international student, but then a very foreign person. And I remember one of my Asian American friend calling me a fob. I don't take it
Mm.
offensively because I was literally fresh off the boat or fresh off the plane. So I didn't take that offensively, but then to me it was just another reminder that I am a foreigner to them.
Hmm.
And not saying that I have anything bad feelings against them, but it was more so a realization that, oh, here too, like I am considered a foreigner. So naturally then I was like, okay, then how about I try exploring with And also during in that kind of interactions, I think we had a lot of misunderstandings about each other. Like they would view me a certain way, I would view them a certain way. So
Mm-hmm.
that led to a lot of misunderstandings about like who I am as a person, like this privileged brat.
Oh.
Maybe. But so naturally having sort of not the best experience with them, I was like, maybe I should try exploring with the international students that were in college. So they were like the Korean Koreans in the US colleges. Like I
Mm-hmm.
joined one of the clubs there, but I also saw myself not blending in completely because they also saw me as too American.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it was a constant dilemma, even in college, that I wasn't too American to be with Asian American community, but even with Asian international students, I wasn't too Asian enough for them. So
Yeah.
I was viewed as too American or either too foreign. So I think I struggled with finding a place, which is why I ended up only hanging out with her, even though she's, even though she was in LA, she went to USC, but I kept going there, or I would have her come to me, and yeah, even in college, I was like one kind of hardships that I felt in terms of like identity, another round of identity crisis. Yeah.
Do you think in terms of like joining organizations as well, like do you felt like it was exclusive in a way or like or inclusive? I don't know.
I thought it was so exclusive. And I think there's a beauty in organizations that there's that exclusivity. Like that's a part of that's kind of like the prime thing about organization is that because there's that uniqueness, oh, we are all common in this one thing. That's why we are special to each
Mm-hmm.
other. But as someone that has such a diverse background in a lot of different fields and a lot of different categories, I think I struggled with that. Yeah. So I couldn't find a place at home,
Mm-hmm.
even in college, which is why I'm still struggling right now. And that's why I have this podcast called At Your Home.
Oh.
In hopes of, I think, creating a space for someone that might be just like me, who was struggling, even in college, such a diverse place, to find an organization or to find a place where they have people that they could relate to. So this is all for y'all, but not exclusive to the TCKs out there. It's for y'all. Yeah.
Yay.
I'm a little drunk.
Cheers.
Okay. So, another topic of discussion, because I like talking about love and I like talking about dating.
Yes.
And I want to talk about college dating experiences. Maybe it might be the same, maybe it might not be, but what would you say dating in college was better or worse, or what was your experience in in terms of dating in college as a fellow international student kid?
Um, I would say dating in college was it was an experience. Really knowing like what I want in a relationship and what I don't. Cause I know like in my previous relationship where I dated in college, I dated like an Asian American where I know there are like some stereotypes in terms of dating an Asian American.
Like what?
Maybe cut that out.
So I will sacrifice myself and talk about my own experience in dating in college. So I also dated Asian Americans, Asian Australians as well. But to be more specific, I think I dated like Chinese Americans and Korean Americans. Yeah, not I didn't explore much. I wish if COVID didn't hit, I would have explored more, but unfortunately, I wasn't able to explore more. I
Yay.
God limited myself to only Asian American, the Korean American, and the Chinese American, in the Chinese Australian. Okay.
Okay.
My personal experience, I think I struggled with dating a Korean American a lot because we had a lot of cultural differences. I think I think more than like a Caucasian, a white American person, I think I have more cultural clashes with a Korean American because we have embedded biases that we're both Korean. But they're, to me, this is my own bias that because I was raised in Korea by like very Korean parents. I went to international school here, so I saw myself as being very Korean. but to have like a Korean American as a boyfriend, I think to me they weren't Korean enough. And now that I'm older, I feel really bad about having my own biases of making them feel like they weren't Korean enough. But I think back then it was that. Yeah. And they felt the same way. So we were both making each other feel very insecure about our very different upbringings. So I'm sorry if you're listening to this. I want to apologize. Now I know better and I should have done better and you should have treated me better. And I think Chinese Americans, I think I didn't have a problem with them because we were both very blunt about the fact that we had different cultural upbringings. And I think throughout those relationships, I actually learned that just having that in mind, having the fact that you guys have different upbringings from the get go, I think that helps in order to overcome potential misunderstandings when you guys are dating. Yeah. That's why I think dating with someone that seems so foreign to me is easier. Because if you guys come from a similar background, you guys tend to assume.
So sorry. Summer fart. I'm so sorry. It smells so bad.
I know. I was just trying to ignore.
Oh my
It
god.
wasn't me.
Wait, it was you?
No, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. Summer,
I'm
stop
so
farting. Okay, cheers to Summer's fart. Yeah, but I hope the farting part didn't cut off what I was saying.
Sorry.
I think the more foreign they were, I was actually able to connect with them more because our starting point is from the fact that we come from different upbringings and different culture. So I think if anything, that helped me kind of avoid any misunderstandings or miscommunication. So I do prefer dating someone that comes from a very different culture, but then I always end up trying out with my people.
Yeah, people.
My people. But I'm like always full of heartaches. But I took one for the team. Hi, beep 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 beep.
Beeping.
Okay. Well, I think that was enough talking.
Yes.
Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It was a little bit unscripted because we were drinking. This is our second bottle of wine. Hello, wine. But I hope this created kind of a comforting space for you guys. This was very comforting for me, and I hope it was for you, our special guest. If you guys want to see more of this, please let me know. And if this was a little bit unhinged, let me know that too. But hope you guys enjoyed this as usual, and I hope it was a safe haven for you, just it has been for me as well. This was your host, Mina Suchoi, and this was our special guest,
Yuri Kawada.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Unscripted.
Wait, I'm not even kidding. All my podcasts are usually like kind of
shit.
unscripted like this.
Spontaneous.
Very spontaneous. Okay, our cheese platter that I charcuterie board. It's like the Walmart version of it. Okay, now I'm gonna edit it.
Yes.
Okay.